Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV. I'm joined by LP. Special guest came on with us last time for the Champions League and Europa League final preview. Amazing, by the way. I really enjoyed that, mate. You had a good input there for us.
That's close enough with the score. Well, not so much with the second one, but I did say it'd be a 1-0 game, or else it'd be a blowout.
Yeah, you know what? I got Bayern Munich to win right. I didn't get the Inter Milan and Sevilla one right at all. I didn't see that coming. But then football man Sam pretty much called that out, didn't he? And said that you got to worry about that team. You know what I mean? The fact that they've won so many finals and yet again they've done it again. But we're not here to talk about that, are we? Though, mate, we're here to talk about all this news circulating at the moment. Harry Maguire. I mean, what? Let's start off with there, LP. What do you think that means to Man United? The fact that he's been found guilty on all three charges. It doesn't look good.
I think it's a blessing in disguise for us. I've said it from day one. I don't like Maguire. I really don't like him. He has a terrible attitude when he's on the pitch. He literally lets everyone else do his job for him and then throws a tantrum when someone else doesn't do it. He's not fit to be a captain. He's had proven it there with bribery. I think he gets away with absolute murder on the pitch, and he gets so many other players in trouble because of his actions. And Lindelof is the absolute scapegoat for Manchester United fans. They just love slating Lindelof, saying he's this, when in reality the whole reason he's been caught out was because he's trying to do two jobs at once. And it's going to show that once. Like, I know it's a suspended sentence, but I can only imagine he's going to be dropped for the start of the season, and you'll see a more complete centre-half pair. I don't think he's as good as everyone makes him out to be, and I think the reason he's been made out to be better than he is because he's English.
He's just been dropped, hasn't he, by Gareth Southgate?
The
England call-up. That's not good for him. And I was having this discussion with somebody online earlier, and I was sort of talking about the destination that he chose for his holiday, which I feel wasn't probably the right place to go, seeing as everybody in the UK and Ireland probably at the moment are going to Mykonos because it's COVID safe apparently, and going with your family and your brothers and all that, and having a piss up and that. I just think it was sort of a recipe for disaster. What do you? I mean, I know, like you said, like this is a blessing in disguise, and it could be. We might actually go and get a better centre back now, and they'll all be fighting for a place. But what did you make of the whole situation anyway? Do you think it was bad timing to go on holiday to a place like that just before an England call-up as well, and the fact that you're the captain of the club?
Yeah, I do, honestly, because if you look at the type of place that Mykonos is, it's generally for the younger crowd. It's generally a party destination. So knowing full well that you're the captain of Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, the spotlight is going to be on you no matter where you go. Why would you put yourself into the mix of that? Especially when, like you said, right before an England call-up. But fair enough, if he wants to go on holidays, that's absolutely fine. Do you. But the one thing I will say is he's the captain of Manchester United. He's supposed to be a role model. You look at the likes of for example, Anthony Martial, who everyone kind of says should, of all people, be there. He's a lot younger. Again, like I said, he'd be the kind of person you'd expect to go there more so. And he had a nice, quiet little holiday with his missus. Brandon Williams, the exact same thing. Why couldn't he just have a nice quiet time away? He had to go to somewhere like Mykonos, where, like, don't be wrong, look, if that's what he's into, that's what he's into. I'm not slating him for that. That's perfectly fine. But the thing I find annoying about it, and the thing I will not forgive, is the fact of bribery. If that bribery charge is real, I have absolutely no respect for him whatsoever.
The quote was, LP, I think something similar on the lines of, when it happened, he sort of said, "Do you know who I am? I'm Harry Maguire, play for Man United. I'm a rich man. If you take the money that I've got and let us off, there'll be no more trouble." And yeah, I just
I've no respect for that.
No, I don't like it at all. It's sort of like you didn't need to do it. You just should have gone along with it if it had happened. And trying to big yourself up, I don't know. It's disheartening to hear it from a Man United player. I know we've had trouble.
A Man United captain. A Man United captain, not even just a player, a captain.
Yeah, exactly. So do you think that that could be him being stripped from the captaincy? But I'm
Oh,
hearing Man
absolutely.
United are coming out backing him up, though, aren't they? They're saying like we're with him 100%. We're going to send lawyers out. We're going to beat
Yeah,
this case. We're not happy with the charges.
it's all well and good, but the fact of the matter is, he was
Mm.
still charged with a 21-month and 10-day sentence. Granted, it's a suspended sentence, but he still has a criminal record there. He has a jail charge there. So what I'm more so concerned about going forward is the fact of, if you are going to stick by Harry Maguire and he is your number one, you're going to play him constantly. You're not going to play the rest of the centre halves in and give them their crack of the whip. What I'd be concerned about is, all right, so with Brexit happening now with you guys, you have to get a visa now to go anywhere in Europe. So what happens with the
Um,
Champions League then? He has a criminal record. The likelihood of him getting a visa is going to be extremely diminished. Don't get me wrong, it's not impossible that he get one, but it's going to be an awful lot more difficult for him to get a visa in a lot of places now.
yeah, I never actually thought about that. The fact that it could, you could mash that in together and say that the Brexit thing could actually be a disappointment to him with this case, and the fact that
Mm-hmm.
he can't travel abroad, and if we're in the Champions League, we're going to need him to be able to. But I'm not really sure if that's going to be with next season because obviously Brexit's been held off a little bit as well, isn't it? I'm not going to get into the politics side of it,
Yeah,
but
no, I'm not on about immediately. I'm on about when it does go through, though.
um,
And another thing as well, where do Manchester United love going for pre-season? What's the one country they love going to?
so recently it's been America. Last year it was Australia, wasn't it, and
Yeah, last
Asia.
year was Australia, yeah. But you know how hard it is to get a visa for America, don't you?
Oh, I
You
know.
know how
Yeah,
much. You know
I
how
lived
much
out
harder.
there.
You know how much harder it's going to be when you have a criminal record.
Ridiculous, isn't it? You ain't
Exactly.
gonna get in. You ain't gonna get in.
No. So he's going to go. If you know do decide to go to the States for pre-season, let's say next year, for example, Harry Maguire's not having a pre-season. Or they decide, right, we're going to postpone our entire plans, change up every plan for one player.
Do you think though, with this whole court case as well, and I know a lot of journalists are saying the same thing, that money talks, and we're looking at the
Mm-hmm.
Glazers as well, and the fact that if he can go to America, do you think like they could persuade the Americans to let him in? I mean, just because they're like some of the wealthiest people in America.
Because if they let him in and don't do a check on that, then the entire what's the word I'm looking for? The entire structure of the place crumbles. So you can't make a rule for one person and not for another.
Yeah, agreed. I agree with it. I'm worried the fact that people can just throw money at things these days and just get off like lightly. This is probably what's going to happen, isn't it? With Maguire, do you think that they're just going to throw a lot of money at it to get out of it? The fact that he didn't even go there to apologise as well, which is what they're really annoyed about. So that just again, that just saddens me. The fact that you just couldn't even apologise, even if you weren't in the wrong. Just to make it look a bit more better. You are a role model to kids as well. Yeah. What do you make
No, at
of
the
that?
same time, if he's absolutely genuinely not in the wrong and he didn't do anything that they're saying, I wouldn't apologise either. I wouldn't. I'd be stubborn like that in the sense of, if you're going to try and do me for something I didn't do, I'm going to take you down. But what I'm saying is, I could deal if it was a charge for fighting, aggravated assault, whatever it is. That's look. If you're defending your sister or whatever the stories are saying happened, if that was all that happened, I would have no problem whatsoever. I would back him to the fucking hills. Sorry for cursing there. I would back him to the hills. But one thing I will not stand for is bribery. No, I don't care how big or small you are. You do not think you can get out of it with money. Get out of my face. No.
So, looking at this whole thing, what do you think Man United should do with their centre back decisions now in the transfer market? You think we should go for someone like Koulibaly to replace him and make him see that he's got to like put in the work to try and even be in the team, let alone be a captain?
I've been saying this particular defender since way before lockdown. And I think if United don't go in for him, there's something wrong with them. They should have went in for him when they had the chance to, when he had a buyout of 50 million. Upamecano. Deo Upamecano from Leipzig. I've been saying it for so long. He would be the perfect centre-back for Manchester United.
Well, now
Absolutely perfect.
Gabriel's gone to Arsenal. we're probably the only people in line to get him now. We probably won't get it though. What do you think, LP? Do you think we'll actually go for these sorts of signings?
No, they won't, because what Manchester United do is because they don't trust Solskjaer to make a decision. They don't trust any manager they've ever had to make a decision. So they're going to do what they know and try and sign someone from the Premier League or from the Championship. They will not go to Europe to try and make a signing. The only reason they're going to Europe to try and get Jadon Sancho is because he's an English player. That's the only reason they're going there. They won't go to Europe. They don't trust their talent scouts in Europe. I don't know why they don't, but they could go and get a centre-back from Europe for 20 million, 30 million. Like, for example, Gabriel, 27 million they paid for him? But instead, they'll probably want to go for someone like Sancho, who's played in the Premier League, and they'll probably pay 50 million for him. And I can guarantee you now that Gabriel's going to be an awful lot better of a player than Sancho.
Can I tell you, like, this came out from Gabriel's agent, I think it might have been yesterday. Some of the offers that he got, his wage-wise,
were way
much more higher than what Arsenal. Now, and they said, like, why would he have chose Arsenal? Then he said that what the club were trying to build with Arteta and Edu looked much more admirable. Yeah, and promising. I mean, that worries me a little bit. I mean, you look at the Jude Bellingham as well, the fact that he went round Carrington, met Cantona, Alex Ferguson, and he chooses Dortmund, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, you kind of think, like, what's going on? I guess, like you said about, you know, we're not going after European talent, and that's to do with our scouting. I mean, our European scouts are obviously not very good at the moment, and the fact that we're going to talk about the Glazers, aren't we? The fact that there's no sporting or football director, is there, to be able to make?
There's no decisions. Director of football, no.
So what? I think that's the one signing we really do need at the moment at Man United.
Yeah, a director of football. Yeah, back to the point you said there about the European talent scouts not being good. These are the same European talent scouts that came to United 2 years ago and told them to sign Alphonso Davies. They said no. The same ones that came, and I can't remember the other place. There was 2 or 3 big names that have started to really, really break through and make a name for themselves now. United were told to sign them. They didn't trust the European scouts, and what happened? They blew up. If we just imagine 2 years ago, we had signed Alphonso Davies, Champions League winner at the age of 19. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would have solidified that left back position. Absolutely solidified it for the next 10, 15 years.
And they just, I don't know. Yeah, like you say, that's. I guess that's the Glazers, right? You think that them making decisions, not being football people, is completely wrong for the club, isn't it? It's not going to send us in the direction that Liverpool, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea. We won't even talk about Chelsea at the moment. I'm a little bit angry, like at the fact that they're just going gun ho and
hell for leather.
We've not got anybody. I think the only thing we've done is get the loaning of Igalo, who he was already here. Like it just kills me, mate.
The only signing United have made so far is a 15-year-old from Norway. Like, don't get me wrong, he's supposed to be the next wonder kid, but who that United have signed at 15 wasn't supposed to be the next wonder kid.
He's not a goalkeeper, is he?
No, he's a central midfielder, I think.
We've obviously got Dean Henderson coming back. What do you make of that? Yeah, that's crazy, right?
I think he'll be back out on loan again this year. I think he'll stick with the Gea this year, and then after this year, he'll get rid of the Gea.
You don't think it'll be Sheffield? It won't be Sheffield United, unfortunately.
No, sure, they've gone out and signed your man from Bournemouth, the goalkeeper from Bournemouth.
That's right. It's around about 18 million, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah. There was a few clubs in for him as well. It's a bit strange trying to sign a keeper who just got relegated and conceded the most goals in the league, but yeah.
Yeah, that is a really strange thing, but I'm guessing you couldn't blame him for them being relegated in a sense. But,
no, I'm not saying it was his fault.
No, but you just look at it and you think, yeah, kind of, yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? So we were also we're talking about Sancho, weren't we? And what do you make of this? Like, it seems like it's just never going to happen. It always felt like it was going to be one of them transfer sagas that were going to go right to the end, and both clubs hold out and try and pretend that, you know, they're all comfortable. I believe it was even Dortmund got in contact with Bayern Munich about the
Kingsley Coman.
yeah. So they said, look, he ain't going anywhere. That's just rumours. That's media. That's just basically making it look like everybody's cool and calm. But then Dortmund were like, look, they definitely want Jadon Sancho. They're trying to pretend they can go for other players, but Man U aren't looking at anyone other than Jadon Sancho. Do you think they should just get it done and dusted and like sort of give the fans a little bit more happiness at the moment, because everything's just going downhill, isn't it, in the media?
So, my stance on Sancho is if United don't secure it in the next 2 weeks, they're not going to get him at all. I've seen reports saying that United are looking to wait until next season to get him. They wait till next season. Bear in mind, his price isn't going to go down. His price is only going to go up. And you'll have competition from the likes of your Bayern Munich, your Real Madrid's, Barcelona's, Inter Milan, Juventus. You'll have competition there from all of those. Not to mention Chelsea, City, Liverpool. I know City won't go to City, but you'll have competition from so many different clubs trying to get a signature. So why would you not grasp this opportunity while nobody else is in for him? Like, stop trying to save yourself 5 million. Stop running the club like it's a profit. Like you're literally trying to turn a profit for your own pockets, not for the club. Like if they were running it like an actual football club, like every other top club in the world is run, this would have been done weeks ago.
Yeah, it's more like a business, isn't it, for Man United at the moment?
It's exactly. The whole reason the Kai Havertz scenario went on for so long with Chelsea is because Kai Havertz was still playing football. That was the whole reason that went on. Like.
And that's like a 90 to 100 million pound price, isn't it? They paid. Would you pay the extra 20 million just to get Sancho and say done deal?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy why they wouldn't. It's crazy why they wouldn't do it. I don't get it. It's 20 million extra for a player who, I mean, let's look at it this way. He must be. I mean, they're different positions, aren't they? But from what he's done in the last couple of years compared to Havertz, he's worth the extra 20 million. I just don't get it. It's 20 million. I know in me and yours, in our lives, mate, it's 20 million is a lot of money, but
no, absolutely. But for them, it's a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
But like, here's the thing as well. They're trying to say that it's going to be so much money for them to spend during COVID, this, and this. But yet they've got rid of Sanchez. So that's cleaned up about, I think it's about 15 or 16 million from the budget from his wages. So realistically, you're not even paying an extra 20, you're paying an extra 5. Like I said, they're trying to save themselves 5 million. So like, and that's not including the likes of, they're going to be looking at selling the likes of Diogo Dalot. So you're talking about between 10 and 15 million for him. You're going to be selling a few other players as well that are around. So again, there's talks of selling Jesse Lingard. Again, you're talking between 10 and 15 million for him. So you're not actually spending that 100 million that you're saying you are. You're spending 50, 60 million because you're getting the rest of it back by selling off players. So it's this whole kind of the Glazers, Woodward, the whole United board are just trying to pull the wool over the fans' eyes by saying, no, but look, it's a lot of money. We don't have that right now. Yes, you do. You absolutely do have that. Look,
who do you think? Oh, mate, I love your stance as well, mate. It's always good because it's sort of an educational thing when you talk to people and understand their views, because you're hearing so much from social media and fan channels and stuff like that, and you don't want to just take that in as the truth, do you? Want to kind of like sort of scope out what everybody feels like and then sort of come up with your own conclusion. And I like what you're saying. I think you're definitely right. But who would you pick if you can't say the Sancho deal is off? Well, we can't get him now. He's done. He's staying. Who would you look at other than him to get in? It's a difficult one for me. I thought, but I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'll tell you my opinion.
Alternatives to Sancho on the wing that are actually available to get. It's not a whole lot. No? There's literally two that spring to mind, and even the two that spring to mind, one of them is very, very injury prone, so I'm not even going to bother mentioning him. And the other one's Kingsley Coman. But even at that, I don't think, like, as good a player as Kingsley Coman is, I think he's fantastic. But from what I've seen of Jadon Sancho this year, Kingsley Coman is here, Sancho's up here. So Sancho, I'm pretty sure they're similar age as well. I think Kingsley Coman's a year, maybe 2 years older than him. But it's just quite a similar age again. So if you do get Kingsley Coman in, I had seen that if it is Coman, it's only going to be a year loan though. So again, I don't see the point in that.
It sounds like Arsenal, doesn't it, when you say like we're just going to get players in for a year loan?
It makes no sense unless that year loan is an option to buy. It makes absolutely no sense. Because if he does really, really well in that year, and they don't have an option to buy at the end of it, Bayern Munich could turn around and go, no, actually, he's played really well. We're going to keep him. And then it's been pointless having him that year.
Do you think, LP, you think it's because his name's Coleman, he sounds English, like it just fits? Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, he sounds like he's got an English name, so we'll get him.
Nah, like I've really, really liked Coleman though. Like I have for a long, long time. And I think it was two or 3 years ago, I was actually literally sitting there. My sole transfer target 2 or 3 years ago was Kingsley Coman. I wanted him so much at United because I'd seen the talent that he had, the potential that he had, and he's. It's not that it's been wasted at Bayern Munich. It's just there's so much competition for him there. He can't get out and express himself properly, which is very, very unfortunate because he's absolutely good enough to be there, but so is everyone else that is there. And that's the problem for him, is that there's quite a bit of rotation going on there. So he doesn't have all the time he needs to express himself. Whereas a club like Manchester United, he's pretty much going to play every week. A club like, I don't know, if he goes to the likes of Inter Milan, he'll pretty much play every week. But in that Bayern Munich team, there's just so much talent that is constantly being rotated.
Agreed. You know what I would have said for my pick, and you probably won't agree, I was going to say Adama Traore.
He's not a bad
Just
player.
as a backup, not somebody who's going to be better, but I mean, sometimes you just get snubbed out of players, and you've really got. We have to get that right midfield place sorted out, don't we, before the start of the season?
I think centre back is more of a priority. Like, granted, you win leagues by scoring goals, but you also win leagues by not conceding goals. And like when you have a fridge freezer, and someone again Lindelof, who I don't even think is good enough to be in the team, when you have the two of them as a centre back partnership, that's not going to win you trophies. That might struggle to get you top four every year. It's not going to win you trophies. Like, it's as simple as that.
I wonder where Lindelof went for holidays this year.
He went home back to Sweden.
Yeah, just chilled out in the fjords. It's in Norway, isn't it? But you know what I
He
mean.
just chilled out and chased people down that were on bicycles stealing handbags off all women and all. You see that story?
No, go on, please,
story,
mate. Share it. No, please.
So he went home, whatever, he was walking down the road, and apparently, this is all the story that came out anyway, apparently he'd seen some fella on a bike rob an old lady's purse. He sprinted after him and got the purse back. Your man was on a bike and he sprinted after him and caught him. How slow was that bike?
I know. Well, how fast was Lindelof?
Lindelof isn't exactly quick, like.
No, but he did it. He did it for a good cause, though. He's like soddy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like we got our own Kolasinac here, haven't we? Our club.
Oh, my God! What an awful player! What an awful player!
Awful player, but he scares the crap out of burglars and thieves, doesn't he? But that's why they got him, because he's just like that Bosnian, like, you know, like hardcore, like, you know, I've seen it
Eastern
all.
European person kind of thing. Like,
yeah, I'll take it on. So yeah, I mean, let's just touch up and end off on the Glazers. What do you think? What do you think Man United can do? Is it fans that have to change it if they don't want Glazers in, or do you think we got to keep with them? I mean, it's as simple as that, isn't it?
At the end of the day, there's very little we can do as fans. We can put a protest, say we want them out, but at the end of the day, they own the club. Like, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. And like, I was actually having this conversation with my dad there a couple of hours ago, just so we were sitting down having dinner. And how long are the Glazers owning United?
Wow, well, since the mid 2000s, right?
It's about, 11,
The
12 years or so, is
racing.
it?
Yeah, it's the racing horse, wasn't it? Because we obviously won the Champions League while they were there.
Hmm.
They were
So I think it's
owners
about
then.
maybe 12, 13 years, whatever it is. In that
Yeah,
space of time, they have taken they've taken out so much money of profits out of the club. They bought it for what, billion and a half, whatever it was. They've taken so much profits out every single year. They've continued to not go out of their way and spend millions and millions to bring in the players. They've continuously not backed the managers. They've essentially told them, no, he's too expensive. You can't have him. You can have him instead. And they're going to end up selling the club in 2 or 3 years' time because we're not winning that. And they don't want to be part of a team that's not winning that. They're going to sell them for the same price they bought them for while taking out a stupid amount of profits every single year.
that's it, innit? That's pretty much it. So all you Man United fans, you just need to get with it. It's just as simple as that. We have got bad owners who don't know or don't appreciate the football club as us as fans do, and they own it, and that's pretty much it. They can do whatever they want with it, like the Cronkays at Arsenal. You know what I mean? It's a similar vibe, right?
It's not as bad though. They're actually starting to back out of it.
Yeah, that's what's strange, isn't it? I couldn't believe my eyes when they started getting, Willian and Gabriel, and you kind of
To be
think,
fair, William was a free though, so they didn't really have to pay him for him. So that's pretty what he went for. That
no, but
great signing,
yeah, I
great
thought it
signing.
was a really great signing, and let's, like I say, let's not even get on with what's happening at Chelsea at the moment.
They've gone out and done some incredible business. Like I say, even today, they signed they're either have signed or they're about to sign as Melisar, like on a free as well.
And we're not
They've
doing
got
anything like that.
no, they've got Sarr and Thiago Silva both on a free. Chelsea are about to make 5 signings. United still haven't made one yet.
That pretty much just sums it up, doesn't it, LP?
That sums up why United are not finishing third this year.
Where do you think we'll finish then after what's going on recently? I mean, like, do you think it's changed everything, the Sancho thing and everything? Do you think it will be lower down from third?
If we don't make any signings, 5th or 6th, realistically,
Back to
we've
Europa League.
no depth. Like they're going to be tired from Champions Leagues. They've no depth. They need to be able to rotate players. They don't have the players to do that. We'll take an early exit in the Champions League if they do try and rotate players. Like we need signings. We need to get good quality signings that if they're on the bench, they're on the bench, but they can very easily come on and not weaken the side in any way, shape, or form. But United aren't looking at players like that. United are looking at Jadon Sancho, who is one player that's like that. The rest of them they're looking at is like David Brooks, who would be a good player for the reserves. But if he was put on into the first team, you know where is weak straight away. Not to mention he's extremely injury prone. He's not actually proven himself in the Premier League, and he's English. That's the fact that he's English makes his price tag 40 million. I'm just going to give an example. If that exact player playing for that exact club who just got relegated, playing injury prone to the nines, and he was, I don't know, French, how much do you reckon you'd pay for him?
Can I just tell you that? Decore, Watford, they want 30 to 35 million. Isn't that
Decore's
just a perfect
proven.
example?
No, Decore's proven.
Exactly. No, exactly. So they want less than someone who's been out injured for a whole year.
Abdoulaye
I
Decore is
take
less than
Decore.
that. He's far more
He's less.
proven. He's far more effective. And he's not English. And look at 35 million. Or David Brooks for 40 million, who was probably going to snap his shin bone after stepping off the fucking plane coming into Manchester. Like, why would you just put that 40 million towards Sancho and stop wasting time? Like,
It's like Van der Beek, isn't it? He's 40 million as well. Do you think he would fit in?
Van der Beek is 40, right? And Jack Grealish is 80. What nationality is Jack Grealish?
English. But Van der Beek played Champions League. He's proven in Europe. He's more proven than Grealish. Grealish hasn't played one game in Europe at the moment in his career. Not even
And he still
for
hasn't
England.
played. He still hasn't played for England yet. Don't get me wrong.
Exactly.
I'm actually delighted. I'm delighted over that, by the way. Just because he snubbed Ireland because he said he wants to play for England and he hasn't played for England yet. It's great.
I was waiting for you to bring that up.
I was, yeah, but like, I think it's funny. But
who else snubbed you as well?
Declan Rice.
Yeah, he did. Look, he hasn't done very well since then either, has he? So
He's in the squad though.
what for this next one?
He's in the England
Well,
squad.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. He had a good he had a good few games and he had a
Hmm.
good few games towards the end of the
After
season.
lockdown, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
He's a
I
good
guess I
player.
understand that.
Very good player.
Yeah,
The two of them are.
but
The two of them are very, very good players. But mm, the fact that
yeah,
they're
you
English is going to put their price way through the roof.
yeah. I don't. Do you know what? I just want to say as well. I don't necessarily blame the players either for that sort of
No, it's not their fault.
distraction and attention they get. But it's the press, isn't it, and the media that
Mm.
put it up, and then the clubs put it up, and I think, like you say, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't a proven coach, is he? He's not a very
No,
good
no, he's
tactician.
inexperienced.
So he's looking at players that he knows. You know what I mean? From media and from talk. That's why he's going for Sancho, do you think? And that's why he's not going for Van der Beek because he doesn't know whether he'll fit into the Premier League, and that's why he's thinking Grealish because he's Premier League proven.
Yeah, no, I can understand why you'd be thinking Grealish. And don't get me wrong, Grealish would be good signing. But again, Van der Beek, I don't think Van der Beek would suit United. And it's a simple fact of the matter. I don't think he would suit United. But when it comes to saying that, is he unsure of players in Europe? He was trying to sign Erling Haaland from Red Bull Salzburg before Dortmund got him. So he knows what he's doing. He does know what he's doing. He knows how to spot a centre forward, and he knows how to spot a centre half.
But you know about that Haaland thing? He used to work with him at Mulder.
Hmm.
He was one of his. He's actually in the team, I think.
Proteges.
Actually, yeah,
Hmm.
protege. I'm not always good at these big fancy words, mate. But
Yeah, no, that's
protege.
good. But no, like I say, he does know. He does know what he's looking for. It's just whether or not the club will give him the backing. They didn't back him with Haaland. They didn't back him initially with Bruno. They had to wait until January to get Bruno.
They should have got him last summer, I think. And
That's when Solskjaer wanted him.
they didn't save much, really. I think maybe like 3 million, if that.
That's
Three
what I'm
million.
saying. The club don't trust him. They don't trust
So,
any of the managers they've had in.
so to end it off, LP, if you had a message to United fans about what they should expect and what they should do if they feel they need to do anything, like I mean, yeah, what would you say to somebody right now if they were having bad feelings about the future for Man United?
I'm one of them that has bad feelings about the future for Man United.
Yeah,
So, um,
I don't know how to say
look,
this, mate. I'm like,
yeah, no, like it's one of them things. Like, and I think we're going to go through a little kind of recovery period as such, similar to what the likes of Liverpool went through. Obviously, hopefully not as long. But if you look at some of the signings that Liverpool are making a few years ago, that's looking like exactly what we're going to do now. Like the likes of, like I actually said this as well. And if we do sign David Brooks, we can never laugh at Liverpool for making signings like Stuart Downing again because it's the exact same player. Like it's the exact same signing. So if we do go out and make stupid signings like that, we're basically just Liverpool. Signing the likes of Stuart Down and who else was it? Jermaine Pennant as well. Like stupid signings. Like was it Pennant?
yeah, it was Pennant. I just remembered that happened. I just couldn't remember. I just
Was
couldn't
it? It
believe
was
that
Pennant, wasn't it?
they did buy Pennant. Yeah, they did. Yep, guarantee.
Stupid signings like that. Like that's. I hope I'm wrong, but it looks like that's the way United are going to go.
I hope not, mate. But unfortunately, we're realists, aren't we? And we can see the future. We haven't got a crystal ball, but
Wait
we
there,
know the
I'll get
sign.
me crystal ball. I'll get me crystal ball now. It's a little black one.
Have
Magic
you
eight
actually
ball.
got one? Mine's just a mirage, mate. It's there, but you can see it if you're, you know what I mean. If you can see what's happening with Man
You're
United, you can
gifted.
see my crystal ball. There you
If
go.
you're
And if you
gifted, you
can't,
can see it. That's the
then
one.
you're
Yeah.
not a real Man United fan. LP, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Do you want to shout out all your Twitters? All your Twitters? How many Twitters you got? No, just one,
92.
isn't it?
No,
92?
but
Is that the
it's a
class
joke.
of 92? Is that all right?
Yeah, my Twitter is just Lee here. Again, if you want to follow any travel related content, that's generally what I do on YouTube. I don't actually do football related content. I might start it, but doubt it. Yeah, if you want to follow travel related content, it's Borders and Beyond. So yeah, that's me.
borders and beyond. Well, a traveling Twitter is always good, mate. You know what I mean? Everybody's surely interested in seeing the world, like surely, right? You know what I mean?
You'd like to think so, yeah. The Twitter is again the same, the borders and beyond.
Maybe Harry Maguire will have to follow, seeing as he won't be able to travel that much
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, stop. Absolute malahide.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today, and thanks to LP too. Go check out his Twitter and subscribe to us. We're on Twitter too. Follow, push the like button, push the share button. Do what you can do for us. Thank you, everybody, for viewing, and LP. Hopefully, we'll get you back very soon.
Sounds like a plan.
Brilliant, mate. Take care.